Now, I think, high leverage is not just in spending, a minimal amount of time to get big results, but it's also allows you to focus on your passions, focus on your unique abilities, focus on things that you're going to enjoy. And I know the strategy definitely does that for me as well. So I think that's another place that people are looking for that 80-20 high leverage result. Well, what's something I can do and get the most enjoyment out of it at the same time?
Yeah, and this will be what makes doing the strategy day in and day out easier, and keep your ability to find it pleasurable every year, if that makes sense, because you're focusing on your passion and unique abilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, if you're going to do one thing to attract traffic, because there's a lot of aspects to a business. I mean, you've got to, you got to know your niche. You got to attract traffic. You got to, connect with those, people. You got to get them on your list. You got to build a relationship up with them. You want to retain them over time. And even after they've bought something from you, you want to retain those customers to buy more from you. And in the end, obviously you want sales. I mean, you want all those things to happen. And so the awesome thing is that this is not just a traffic strategy. It's also a positioning strategy. It's also a relationship building strategy. It's also a customer retention strategy. It's also a sales conversion strategy, all in one. So that's what's awesome is you can spend those 2 hours and not just be doing, traffic generation and then have to go spend 2 hours on customer retention and then have to go spend 2 hours on sales. You actually stack all that time on top of each other. And instead of spending, 8 hours doing all those things, you get it all done with this 2 hours a week of strategy.
Yeah. And it's actually funny because I was thinking that, the fact that we've, basically followed and honed in on this strategy from the beginning with Internet Business Mastery, and just followed it every single year, a few hours a week, particularly on this strategy. That's actually how we've gotten now on the radar of the big people that use and teach the big traffic strategies. They're going, hey, what are you guys doing? And it's because of doing this particular strategy.
I could just feel people going like, what is it? Tell me what it is.
And it's funny because I keep going, it almost sounds like, I don't know, a salesy or something in terms of, but we're actually going to tell you.
We're going to tell you. This particular strategy, we keep saying that. We'll just say TPS.
Exactly.
This particular strategy. All right. So that's number 2, high leverage results, the 80-20 rule. Number 3, you want it to cost as little as possible. I can remember starting out my business and having limited funds, especially since I'd quit my job and I needed to support myself as well and be very creative with my budget. I didn't have much money to stick into marketing my business. And, even now that we've got a healthy, we're willing to spend money on traffic, but, at any time you want to, get the most out of your money, make your cash flow go as far as possible. So having it cost as little as possible is great. Now, as a side note, this one I put out there for beginners because we know that there are a lot of people just starting out listening to this show. But, later in your business, you should definitely be willing to start paying for traffic. But like I said, even for us, at any point you're wanting your cash flow to be as strategic as possible.
Yeah. And I'd say that, just to let everybody know that following this actually had been our only traffic strategy for like 5 years, something like that. And now that we've gotten to the point where we can pay for it, we're testing other things as well. And again, still this is what works no matter what. And even if you do have money to pay for traffic, at the very beginning of the business, let's say you've got a little bit of a budget, we still would suggest this is the first thing you do regardless.
Right. Absolutely. So ideally, you start with the traffic attraction strategy that costs you as little as possible. And so that is criteria number 3. All right, criteria number 4, you wanted to attract quality traffic. Here we're talking about minimal time and minimal money, but you might be thinking, well, yeah, but what if it attracts traffic that's no good, that doesn't convert, that doesn't spend money, the source of your traffic, the quality of that traffic that it attracts is a very important consideration because the quality of your email list is only going to be as good as the source where those people came from and only as good as the relationship you build with those people. So you need to know that your traffic generation is going to bring quality traffic, and you can go and dump a whole lot of money, say, into something like AdWords. But if you don't do it right, or in some markets, it might attract the kind of people who are just tire kickers or looking for free information. And so you're paying for all these clicks and maybe getting people on your list, but in the end, they don't want to buy anything. They're just looking for the freebie. So, you definitely want something that early on is going to attract the kind of traffic that is going to lead to results later. And for us, this has led to stuff like 50% opt-in rates on our squeeze pages. And when I say squeeze page, I mean, when you send somebody to a landing page and there's a little special offer and if they sign up for your list, they get, some special videos or special audios. And for instance, in our show, we're always mentioning freeaudiogift.com, because you can go there and get a whole bunch of content from us for free. But there's, we want to it's a value exchange, get on the email list at the same time so we can start that relationship with you. And 50% opt-ins for those kinds of landing pages is awesome. A lot of people, even when they get 10 or 20%, they're happy. But if you can get 50 or higher, like we've been able to get, then you're doing really, really well. We also get above average open rates on our emails, something we track with Aweber to know what percentage of our list is opening our emails at any given time. And probably even more impressive, something that we've noticed in the last year or so is that we launched the Platinum last year, which is our highest level $6,000 coaching training. At least that's how much it was last year. And, there was people joining that. So, jumping straight to our highest commitment, highest cost product after only knowing us for a couple of months, meaning they had just found us and our site a couple months before. And that was astonishing to me. I didn't even realize that we had, that our traffic had been that high quality that we were able to get high level customers that quickly. A lot of times it can take several months to get to that point. They buy a few different things from you and then they jump to your highest product. But no, this was bringing people right into that highest product, which was amazing to me. And I think definitely speaks to the quality of traffic that, this traffic generation strategy, traffic attraction strategy, to the power of this strategy.
Yeah. And I figured all along. No, I'm
you
just
figured
kidding.
that you knew. You're like,
I figured it was going to be that, of course.
I totally knew.
It's always nice to see what actually is going on in the same way as how great surveys are. But anyway.
Absolutely. So there's your first 4 criteria of what is now actually 8. We bumped it from 7 to 8 just while we were talking here. So we're going to go through the 4 other criteria of what should be your number 1 most effective traffic attraction strategy in the next episode, and then we'll finish off by talking about what exactly that strategy is and what it looks like. And then I think we'll in the near future have an episode where we then go in more detail on how to implement this strategy. I think that would be, I'm sure a lot of people will want to hear more about that. So you can look forward to all of that in the next a couple episodes coming out. And I know we probably have people like, bated breath wondering, just tell us what exactly this is. And indeed, we will get there. There will be a payoff. But, start thinking right now about, how some of these criteria apply to the business that you're trying to create or that you want to create or that you've already created and are trying to grow and improve.